So here we are in Kansas City, and I've discovered that it's really very much like Melbourne. It's got the 4 seasons in one day, and I think that coming around to see the properties in Kansas, now I know the kind of quality of the houses and the way that they're being finished by the reno guys, that they know how to choose the right finishes and things like that on the properties. So it's been great. I actually got to visit my own property in Kansas City. I got to meet the tenant, and they're really happy, and I know that it's a secure situation being a Section 8 tenant, so all her rent's covered by the government, and she's really happy there and should be there long term. I've got to meet the managers, and they're really great people too, and one of them was originally from Sydney, so that's a little bit reassuring that he knows both the Australian and the US market. So thanks, it's been really great.
Hey guys, I also want to introduce one of our team members here on the ground. This is Sean Tarp. He's here in Kansas City, born and raised native. He'll be doing some speaking and some commentary. He runs all of our acquisitions and managing our construction crews, and since we're going to be seeing some of the houses, some of them we'll even see that are sort of mid-rehab, not fully completed. Sean's the guy who will give us a little more inside tip on some of the things that we do in the houses and the construction side. So thanks for being here, Sean.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're headed up just the west side here. This is the Quality Hill area, and this is just a residential on the west side. It's sort of a higher end. It's mostly condos and higher end apartments. There's some old historical buildings right here in this area, some old museums. We're going to take through some of the downtown area. Not that we invest at all in real estate, at least our residential real estate downtown, but because you're staying on the Kansas side of the city and not the Missouri side, we thought it's right that just to show you the real Kansas City.
So now we're going to leave the city and we're just going to start heading south. All the properties we do are from north to south. In Kansas City, as the numbered streets get bigger, you get further south. So First Street would be the farthest north, 100th Street would be the furthest south. So we're north now, and we're gonna work our way south out of the city. All right, this is a road we have called Benton Boulevard. We buy a lot on this street. Slow down just a little bit. 46, we got guys working on, hey, wanna look at this one? Okay, this one's almost finished. Pull over here, we can go in it. Yeah. This is one on Benton Boulevard, it's almost finished. We'll go inside and take a look.
Okay, you guys keep walking through. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. It's got about 15 to 20% left due punch out. We have a Section 8 inspection probably coming up in the next 2 weeks, week and a half at most. $814 rent on average, probably $850-ish. So usually like one of our finishing touches will be like a high gloss on these floors before the tenant comes in. But what we do is we have so much foot traffic from people showing it, then we wait before and then we put the high gloss down before the inspection.
It's been really good coming on the tours because you can paint the picture of what you're actually buying, and to actually see the quality of the refurbishments that are being done is really good. Obviously buying something sight unseen isn't ideal, but to actually come through and see the houses is great, and to actually see that they've been finished to a good quality and are in a livable state is really good. And it's just good to see like that to actually see your tangible asset. And it's been really good just driving around Kansas City. That's where we've only been so far, but we're going to Indianapolis and Dallas as well soon. But it's been really good just driving around the neighbourhoods, getting a feel for all the infrastructure, all the industries that are in the area, getting a feel for the neighbourhoods, and even just seeing the people and the demographics around. So that's been very, very worthwhile.
All right, I think everybody's here. What we're doing here is this is a place that's under construction. We bought it less than a week ago, and you'll see where it's at. We wanted to bring you by one or two that we were in the middle of rehabbing so you can just kind of see on the front end what it looks like as well. So when you kind of go in, be kind of careful. And then we just bought, since I do acquisitions in Kansas City, I buy through asset pools, distress managers, all that stuff. So if we can just go through all at once.
The hardwood floor technique paint on this one, where we sand it down, smooth it out, put the paint on the floor and do the high gloss sheen over top. So it'll be nice to see the after pictures when it's done. One thing you should keep in mind as we're going through these homes, we do a good job on the rehab and the homes look good and they may be desirable, but don't get emotionally attached to these homes as your home. because you're not living in it. We want to get a tenant to be emotionally attached to the home, so they want to move into it and they want to live into it. But just keep your frame of reference from an investment perspective and not from this is going to be where my kid sleeps perspective.
Okay, so we're heading back south now. What I was going to say is this. I told you guys this in the class, and I just, one of you just brought this up to me. In Kansas City, we're generally south of a road called 50th. And if you remember, I said the farthest north street is first, and then the furthest south street's like 100th. So here we are, we're up here in the 30s. So this is out of my typical buying area. True, it is. North of 50th, there's only 2 places in Kansas City that we buy. That's in that vineyards area that I just showed you, where the VA hospital and the dairy farm feed it, and it's kind of a community unto itself because it's only got 2 entrances, actually 3. And then here off, this is Benton Boulevard, which we call the Benton Corridor. There's a lot of churches, schools right in this area, and it's an established neighborhood with people who've lived here for a long time, good values. So if it's not in this area or that area, we don't buy this far north. But if you weren't from the city, you'd have no clue. If you get out of these 2 areas and you're up north, you're in a bad area. You're somewhere you don't want to be. So once we get down to 50th, which is where we're going now, south of there, it kind of opens up. And that's where most of our buying's done. So we buy in these 2 pockets up here in the north, and then as we go south, we kind of buy all over the place. And you'll see the difference when you get down there. Okay, so we're going a little bit further west, and we're about to go south on Paseo. This is typically, you know, more of our favorite, our most potent buying areas. We have a lot of properties. As we go down the street, I'll point some of them out to you, but there's so many that we've done. We've done thousands here. Yeah, we're gonna go in. This one's about, same as the other one, but this is about 80% done. We got a couple things left to do, but let's run through it real quick. Yeah, this is a duplex. There's gonna be a private college here. It's called Rockhurst University. These are some of the dormitories for it. So we're right next to a college. It's actually a pretty well-known college in America. It's a private institution. It's really run by a religious organization for the most part. You're gonna see their football stadium coming up. So we do a lot of houses right around here. We actually get a lot of college students.
On everything we sell, the tenants are responsible for the utilities. Yes, all tenants pay utilities here. Every once in a while we run into an occasion where the water might not be separated at a duplex. So the owner or who's ever buying that product at that time will have to be responsible for the water. But it gives you a rental, it gives you a higher rent. So say where you was gonna come in on average of a 600, you might get 625 aside through Section 8, based on that they know that they don't have to pay that utility.
Right here off of State Line Road and 103rd in Kansas City, Missouri. If you pan around behind you, there's the Wells Fargo branch. This is a bank that we're using to set up some client accounts here.
Good question was right here. It was asked if Section 8 tenant lived next door, if a market tenant lived next door to them, if it's comparable rents. Now Section 8 does their rents. It's called rent reasonableness, and they go with what the area carries. So if you're an 825 rent, that area should carry 825 market.
Quality of the finish was very good. It was better than I was expecting for these properties. Yeah, it's great to actually see them firsthand and see where they are and have a look at the other houses around as well. But you know, the city itself, it's quite nice. It's got a lot going for it. It's very surprising actually. You expect these places to not be very impressive, I guess, but given what you hear in the media, but overall it's been very impressed.